Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday night edition of everybody's favorite raunchy podcast, the Adults Only Podcast. Well, you don't have to be an adult here. Some people call me a grown kid in an adult's body, but hey, man, it's a lot of fun. Great times to be here. It is Gaming After Dark, as always, and we have got a fantastic show lined up for you tonight. Not only do we have back our fantastic panel, we got both of the guys this week, but we also have some fantastic new guests. Well, they're not necessarily new to the community and new to podcasting, but it's their first time making a guest appearance. A few weeks back, you probably heard that Asante was going to be here, and due to things that happen in life, he just couldn't make it. But we kept after him. He sent out the message to me and said, "Yeah, man, I can make it." So here he is, and we also got Mr. CUnit Chris Jones. But let's introduce our formal introduction. Let's start with the man that brings the comment back to Sans live on camera once again tonight. It is the one, the only Titan Drago.
What's up, everyone? Noof, what's going on, dude? Maggie, good to have you back.
Yeah.
I'm loving the Back for Blood co-op and the multiplayer, man. And that's one thing we haven't really done as a trio yet, is play the multiplayer, and I really like that. So we definitely got to get into that sometime. But last week we were talking about the meta scores of that game, and it's like, man, what the experience that I'm having just isn't adding up to those scores, man. Not at all. Like those frauds must have been taking away points for the non-fruit physics, and probably the difficulty too, because you got to do a little bit of leveling up. You got to unlock some stuff and you get better and better, right? And Mag knows all about that. He's got better cards than I do, but I'll get there soon. But yeah, I mean, sounds like a bunch of non-gamers, you people that rated that game so poorly, and I say take their licenses away. Let's do this.
Yeah, they just had the unfortunate nature of playing with some terrible randoms, maybe. All right. Speaking of a man who's anything but random, it's the one, the only middle-aged game guy back live in studio.
Yes, well, good evening, Noof. Panel chat with our two fine guests we got this evening. We got Chris, CUnit, we got Asante. Joe Dunmore, I cannot yell this evening. I am a little bit under the weather. And no, I don't think it's COVID. It's just a cough. But I can't yell really loud tonight, but I'll just do it. Joe Dunmore, I'll try next week harder. But anyways, guys, we have an excellent show for you guys this evening. Tony Baloney will not be making an appearance tonight because I just can't maintain the voice. But anyways, he will be back next week stronger and better. But anyways, let's get into this show.
I was just going to ask you if he couldn't be here due to the rumors.
Oh, what rumors is that?
Too much pubic hair retention in the throat.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And that's the worst part. I can't even fucking laugh. If I start laughing, I'll go into a coughing fit. So yeah, I'll just quietly smile on this side of the microphone.
All right, and welcome to our fantastic guest. We will start with Mr. K himself, Asante. What's up, brother? Thanks for being here. Glad to finally get you on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I apologize for that mishap last time, as life tends to happen. I will be off camera today, just so y'all know, because it's hard to make a black man blush, but you guys have done it a few times on previous shows. Y'all don't want to see that, so it's gonna be interesting tonight. I appreciate you having me on. It should be fun.
All right. Well, let's just tell you here, man, you can be yourself and go all out. You don't have to be like a woman's orgasm, have to fake anything around here. All right, and we got Chris, Mr. CUnit in the house. Any relation to GUnit, brother?
No relations.
How you doing, Chris? Welcome to the podcast. Glad to
He said relations like sex. I've had no relations with them.
I have not had sexual relations with GUnit.
Definitely appreciate the invite, Noof. Been following you since the days of Xbox Nation way back when.
Wow.
Long time ago. Xbox One X days. Been following middle-aged game guy, Titan Drago, Mr. Smite for the past year or so. And
so you've built up your hate for me, eh?
I actually love Smite. And our new friend to the community, Asante. I'm ready to go. Let's get into it.
All right. Speaking of getting right down into it, Doggy Dog is in the house as he normally is each and every week, and he's coming in live and hot with the $1.99 super chat. Said, "Good evening, everyone. Going to be a fire show." Yes, indeed. We got some dynamite topics. Some of them I couldn't even get into the title. So hang on to your pantyhose tonight, people, because we are about to rip a new hole in them. And let's get right into it, people. Let's do this. Big shout out again to a fantastic chat, including Draven Arrow, Timothy Dixon, Master Puppet, Casket Repair, Mucho Churro, what's going on? Nix, Felix Betancourt. We got Spider-Man 356, Toolman 55. The Doctor is in the house. So now you know it's going to be lit. Gone Mad is here. HTK 360. Joe Dunmore. Ryan Galloway is here. What's going on, Ryan? Good to see you. And the list goes on. Let's go roll on. I think of Casket Repair. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Kylo Milo. Yeah, so we got the list of people here tonight. Let me tell you, Spooky Sprocket's in the house. Mr. Man has got the wank stain of the week. Love those segments. Always good. Tells it like it is. And you know what? He's not wrong. He's right. Gone Mad also, well, Gone Mad with the Super Chats. Drops $5. We love the B team. Whoever the B team is, but we'll take it. All right, guys, let's get right into it. First topic of the night, Splinter Cell. According to IGN, looks like there is a potential for a Splinter Cell game dropping in 2022. If you've heard any of us talk about Ubisoft over the past, well, pretty much a couple of years, as a matter of fact, and certainly on recent shows, one thing you should all know by now is that many of us love Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell. We've been dying for him to make a return. Ubisoft has had numerous shows where we all hung on by our heartstrings waiting for that sound. See the green goggles come back, the voice of, Michael Ironside. Hopefully he comes back to voice the character. But, we've all been waiting for a new Splinter Cell, and it's been one of those titles we keep scratching our head like, Ubisoft, you're sitting on a gold mine. People love Splinter Cell. They want it back. And it looks like there is potential for it to come back, and I think it's the only right thing to do. So let's find out how the panel and our esteemed guests feel about this. I'm super stoked. I can't wait. I hope it's true. Let's start with Titan Drago.
Early 2022, I'm going to go ahead and say no way, no how on that malarkey right there. Thing is, like, the report is this game has entered early development, okay? Therefore, this is either a remake slash remaster, which that could potentially release maybe late 2022. If it was a remaster, but if this is a new game, we're talking 5-6 years from now. We're talking, I could be dead by then. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's but it's potential. Yeah,
there really is, man. So someone on Smite's gonna give me a heart attack, and that's gonna happen before this game comes out, probably.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's largely speculation. I got to say, I didn't get the chance to go in depth on the article at all. Maybe Mag, you had a chance to dive a little deeper in and can let us know where they dug up this info. Do you think there's any weight behind it?
Yeah, there is. There certainly is. And the thing is, I can actually say it now. When I do some of the game testing for Ubisoft, right? They did ask me a question about a year ago, and nothing came of it though, which was kind of interesting. But they did ask me a question on the question because I have to fill out a questionnaire every time, like before I go in, right, or before I do a remote test or whatever. And the one that stuck out to me was, it said, "Have you ever played a Splinter Cell game?" And that was really odd to me because never before has that shown up on any questionnaire that I've ever had to fill out for them, right? So I was like, whoa, what's this? And that was about 8 months ago, give or take, right? So I was like, okay, maybe something's happening. But then I didn't think anything of it. I let it go because it never, like I said, it's not like I tested some like alpha footage of some Splinter Cell game or anything like that. But then what ended up happening is I did hear this rumor. Then I saw a tweet about it. Then it was posted in our Asante and I in our PTG group, right? I saw the tweet there. But then I went over and I saw IGN report it. Now, the thing is, you love them or hate them, okay? Love or hate IGN. But the thing is, if they report something, it's solid. They're not going to they are so big now that they stopped reporting on like rumors that don't have at least 80-85% success rate. right? So because they're not going to take that hit anymore, not as a big conglomerate, media conglomerate that they are now. So that being the case, yeah, thanks HTK. Thank you very much. By the way, yeah, a mobile game. Can you imagine a mobile battle royale with Splinter Cell? You can imagine. But
or a
when
VR
IGN
game.
reported
Isn't that one coming out? A VR game? It's also a VR game coming out.
Fucking go to
VR game
Montreal
would
and
be
burn
cool.
down the studio.
I think
VR
they are
be-
making a VR game. They are.
Okay, well that's cool because that'd be good as like a supplement on the side, right? Like for example, like they're doing the Resident Evil 4 VR, which comes out next. What is it this week? I think it's this week, right? But that's not going to interfere with like Resident Evil 9 or whatever the hell they're working on, or like DLC for Village or something, right? Anyways, Splinter Cell. As soon as I saw IGN do that, I was like, oh no, this is happening. So I tried to dig a little deeper, couldn't find anything else more substantial than that, except for all the other major media sites are also reporting it, which means that it's got to be pretty solid. Now, I did look into a lot of people were wondering, why is Splinter Cell taking so long to get here? If you actually sit back and look at a lot of the sales numbers, there has been a steady decline in Splinter Cell sales. Okay. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Blacklist was the last one.
Correct.
And it only sold 2 million copies. So if you look at a company like Ubisoft, as big as they are, right, and you're looking, and especially with their worldwide appeal, with all their studios and everything else, and all the multiple platforms that they have all their games on, you're talking PlayStation, you're talking some occasionally Nintendo, you're talking Xbox, you're talking PC. Okay. To sell 2 million copies, I'm sorry, that's not enough. You know what I'm saying? That's not enough in order to, to bring it, especially when you got Assassin's Creed coming out the gate with like anywhere between 5 and 10 million on the first week, right? A lot of people didn't like, what was it called? Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I loved it, but there are a lot of bugs in there and whatever else, but it's still a solid game. The thing is, it is actually their best-selling Assassin's Creed game ever in history. Right, so they're going to keep going after games like that. Why would you even look back at Splinter Cell with your last one sold 2 million? However, now what they did is that they actually got rid of, after that, they got rid of the creative director of the series and they hired a new one. Then they tried to launch it again a couple of years ago. It kind of fell apart. They got another creative director and now they're going to attempt to launch it again. So you can look at something like God of War, did the same thing. Like God of War 3 sold extremely well, but then it kind of fell off when they started releasing those PSP only games, whatever. Then they scratched the series. Okay. And then they started, and then of course, Corey Balrog came in and did the reboot of sorts, soft reboot. And now look at it. It's one of the most successful games of all time. And especially, and even like just, critically one of the best games of all time. Right. Yeah. So maybe that's what Ubisoft is doing. Now, the thing is, a lot of people worried about Ubisoft going, oh man, they're going in this direction with all this bullshit with the free-to-play nonsense and the battle royale bullshit and this and that and blah, 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 blah. But then you look at a game like Far Cry 6 and people are loving it. And the sales are extremely high. So it's doing really well. So Ubisoft is going, you know what? If you release a solid product, it's going to sell. Single player, doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's going to sell. So I think that they're going to take this very seriously. I think they're going to take their time with it. And I don't think we're going to see this until at least 2024. But either way, I'm there for it. I'm there for it day one. I'll be excited. Right? So like, I think it's going to be great, especially with the new technology. It's going to be only on the PS5 and Series X and PC. They're not going to go backwards. You know that. They're not going to go back to the Xbox One and PS4. So I think it's going to be extraordinary. But my personal feeling before I pass off the mic is that they've got to go back to the original trilogy style of the game. Those first 3 games were absolutely amazing. And then I started, like, the other ones were getting a little bit too action-y for me, like to the point where I'm like, you know what I mean? It was kind of like, all right. But those first 3, man, I remember sitting under a staircase for like an hour waiting for a fucking guard to turn his back. And I'm just like, this is awesome. I loved it. I loved the tension of it. Like, everything about the games were amazing. If they could bring back the feel of those first 3 and put it in a modern setting, I am totally in.
Well, I have a theory before we get to the guests about the last Splinter Cell. Here's what I think happened was, one, we'd sort of seen a little, just like they do with a lot of successful franchises, they brought out a little too many, a little too soon, because there was kind of a slew of them that came fairly fast and heavy right after Splinter Cell Chaos Theory on the original Xbox. Where you had, what was it, the Double Agent, and then you had a few other ones, and of course Conviction came out, which actually was, oddly enough, was my favorite of the Splinter Cell games, was Conviction, but that one felt like quite a bit of a departure. Again, it was more action oriented. Sam Fisher didn't have his iconic glasses, all that sort of stuff. That's when they came up with that that assassination type technique where you could mark the targets and kill multiples at one time.
Was that the one where he was on the run and shit, like in
kind of
Washington and all that shit?
Yep.
Yeah.
I hated that fucking game. Sorry, excuse me.
And other people did. Like, I loved it. Some people absolutely hated it because, again, it felt like a big departure. I love the graphics, and I liked a lot of things about it. And then, of course, Blacklist comes out, and guess what? It comes out right on the tail end of the 360 PS3 generation as we're gearing up for the new consoles. It came out, I think, at a bad time. I think the marketing was not very good around that game. Of course, it was the first Splinter Cell game that hadn't had Michael Ironside reprise his role. There was a lot of things, I guess, not working in its favor, and then it fell by the wayside. And there you have it. Again, that's just my theory. Fans got to get behind these games. You want them or not. If you want them, buy them. If not, you're gonna shut your pie holes, that sort of thing. So, because they were all really good games. Blacklist was actually quite well done, and it is backwards compatible. You can go back and play it now, and it's a title that was sorely missed by a lot of people. As a matter of fact, I even got to admit that I'm a fraud here. I played it and never finished it. So there you go. Right, that's a tale of its tale right there. But anyway, let's bring in our guests. We'll start with Mr. CUnit. Chris, how about you, man? Are you a big Splinter Cell guy? Do you have a soft spot for it? And do you think there's legitimacy to the rumors that it is coming out in 2022? If so, would you be excited?
I'm not a giant Splinter Cell fan. I think the last one I played was Double Agent way back when. Mm-hmm. And I do think that there's some legitimate... That's a big fucking word. I do think that there's some truth behind it. But I think they made the announcement as recently because there's been a lot of issues in Ubisoft over the past few years with the harassment claims and all that stuff.
Right.
And I recently wrote an article for lordsofgaming.net about Beyond Good and Evil 2 and where was that fucking game. So I dove deep down. I found a whole bunch of developmental hell for different Ubisoft games. So I think that they are using the possibility of a Splinter Cell game, whether it be for mobile, which we hope not, or any other platform, that they're using that to cover up some of Beyond Good and Evil 2, and that game could probably be canceled.
Yeah, it's been mysteriously absent. I guess you bring up a great point. The fact that if we do get a Splinter Cell game, there is potential it may not even be a console game. Does there any, Mag, do you recall if there was any indication that it would be a console game? If so, or I can't, because the way things are going right now, this could be sort of DLC, or like I said, could be totally for mobile, or who knows?
Well, they did say that all their games moving forward will be developed for PC first.
Mm-hmm.
And then ported to console. I think Capcom is doing the same thing, actually. I think that's a trend moving forward. Capcom is doing that with all their releases as well. But no, it's gonna go to the consoles. There's no question. That's where the fan base. I understand that PC outdoes Xbox and PlayStation combined, basically, right? When you talk about the size of their community, there's no question. But you also don't want to ostracize any of those other all those console players, because by the time that game comes out, you could theoretically have up to 80 million people on consoles. You're not turning that down. But I think it's going to be a high-powered, high graphical fidelity game. It's going to be serious. It's not going to be some mobile nonsense. I think the worst, the worst thing that they possibly, it's not going to show up on any Switch. I'll tell you that. But one thing you will be able to play it on a mobile device doing remote play with your Xbox or PS5. I can tell you that. But other than that, no, it's going to be going to your standard next gen experiences or consoles, whatever.
You know what? If Ubisoft doesn't want to make a Splinter Cell game, they should just hand off the license and get somebody like IO Interactive to potentially do it.
They'll never let it go. They'll bury themselves. Like the pharaohs used to bury themselves with their fucking servants. Okay, Ubisoft will die and bury themselves with Sam Fisher right next to him, and be like, nobody is taking this from us. I'm telling you right now, it's how it's gonna go.
But when it comes to Ubisoft games, these days I'm more along the lines like, you guys show me. I want to see it.
All right.
That's the other thing. You gotta like that. That's the other thing. You gotta show the gameplay. I don't get excited for anything anymore until I see the gameplay. Like even with Xbox, everybody's talking about, we got this coming out and that coming out. And we got Hellblade 2 and this and that. I'm like, show me the fucking game. You know what I'm saying? Show me them walking around. Let me see what I'm gonna actually be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with Splinter Cell. I am not going to raise an eyebrow until I see Sam Fisher walking around.
Yeah.
Doing what I'm going to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So until that point, CUnit's right. CUnit.
Indeed. How about you, Asante? Where do you stand on the whole issue of Splinter Cell? Are you a big fan of the franchise? Excited that it has the potential to come back? I mean, do you think it needs to come back? I think they're missing out here. Give us your take.
So yeah, a bit of a backstory. I'm a huge Splinter Cell fan. It's one of the earliest OG Xbox games I had. Like, that's back when cloth physics actually meant something, and he you see him holding onto the railing, and his cloth, whatever he's wearing is like wafting in the breeze and whatnot. It was absolutely amazing, in addition to all the great crazy stealth and Michael Ironside and all that. So huge fan. My heart has been broken one too many damn times by Ubisoft. I'm a big VR guy. I hear there's a VR version coming. Great. They keep putting him everywhere else. Oh, Sam Fisher. Oh, yeah, he's in a Netflix game. Sam Fisher.
Yep.
Oh, he's in this mobile game. I'm like, enough already. Until I literally see gameplay, I will not believe this is real. But I am super excited if it actually happens. And hopefully, well, okay, let me qualify that. I'll be excited if this happens and it's Michael Ironside in it. And it's a single player or at least co-op focused game, and they don't Ubisoft formula the whole thing as they tend to do a lot nowadays, right? As far as it being PC versus console, it's to be expected, and more beyond the fact that there are more PC players than anything else. These days, all consoles are PCs anyway. With x86 being standard across the board, you can build for PC, and the quote-unquote porting process to consoles is more of just profiling. Oh, okay, we'll tune this down because they can't handle it. We'll tune that down because they can't handle it. It's not really like an actual port job as it used to be back in the day with a lot more difficulty. Now it's basically you're tiering it based on what kind of hardware is available, and they're all basically PCs anyway. So, it's just par for the course. Everybody will be focused on PC first because that's where the money's at, and you'll see them come to consoles left and right. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm cautiously optimistic for this because I want to see it come back, but I want to see it come back in the right way, right? And Mag made all the right points. It's very true that systematically it's been getting worse and worse as it's going along. It reminds me exactly of Dead Space. First one hit out of the park. Dead Space 3, trash, right? Well, it wasn't trash, but it was more of an action game than it was the reason why people came there in the first place, right? And when you talk to those companies and they go, well, we won't make another one because the sales are slumping. You know why? Because you change the formula over time, right?
Right.
So
Let me ask you
hopefully,
this. Speaking of formulas, do you think that if Splinter Cell is to come back, do you think Ubisoft will let it go in a similar route to its older games, which were more of a narrative-based focus, obviously with some multiplayer added on as well? Or do you think they're potentially make it more like in the vein of Assassin's Creed, where they open it up, kind of give you more of an open world, kind of let you go anywhere, pick and choose sort of how you want to do the missions? Because we saw that was one thing if you look at compared to Conviction, compared to Blacklist did that a little bit, because in Blacklist they had you inside of the bomber, the big ship, the base or whatever, and you basically had this map, and you sort of essentially picked which way you wanted to do the mission orders
more on yours, on your terms. I do
Whereas
recall
Conviction
that.
was just story based. You just follow with the narrative, and
even Conviction was kind of a fall from grace for me. I didn't finish it. Like I remember, and actually, believe it or not, I have tried multiple times now to go back to it, but it's been so long, and I'm like, I think 75% in. I refuse to start again. So I'll jump into my, shout out to Xbox. I'll jump into my save from like 2000, from 2010 somewhere, and it'll be exactly where all these guys are coming after me. And I don't know if y'all have played that game recently. the control schemes just they're not what they used to be, right? You remember them,
Well,
but now
I'm not sold on going back, Asante.
Oh yeah, you just can't do it. You can't do it. So I get in a room, everyone murders me. I'm like, screw this. I'll try again in 6 months, and I'll keep doing that over and over again. Eventually, I'll go back and probably restart it. I'm a type of gamer. I will approach it based on what they want to give me. You know, I won't try and put my own thoughts into it. So like, even if it's an action game, I want to play it as that, and then I can judge it later. But even as an action game, it's kind of lackluster. So yeah, I really hope they bring this back to its glory. You know, I'm a little worried because, you know, we see the Ubisoft of today. They you know, all the reasons why Mag listed is why I'm very worried that they won't bring this back the way it should be brought back, because it doesn't make monetary sense. It just doesn't, right? They've already like gone down that road and seen where it led. I'm hoping that someone has a creative vision somewhere that, you know, brings this back and then resets that thing, and then they're able to, you know, do that OG stealth like they did before, right?
Here's a great option for Splinter Cell multiplayer though, where they could make some money, and I think Titan might like my idea. What about a Splinter Cell battle royale? But the thing is, you're sneaking around, knocking off and killing your opponents. Yep. You know what I mean?
Perfect plan.
So think of that. That could be pretty cool. But you know, you do it in a way where the environments perhaps they're darker. You know, it lends itself more to a stealth as opposed to just find a weapon and shoot and hope for the best. That I think that something like that could have massive potential. You know what I mean? Like 100 players, all for one for all. You know, like going all in, that sort of thing. That could have potential, and that's something they could monetize too if they went that route.
100%. No, see, the only thing is, and you're absolutely right, that would be more leaning in on what made it great and then attaching some modern aesthetics to it. Meaning you have your cinematic storyline that we've come to know and love from that, you know, all stealth and everything else, and then in the multiplayer you can layer on the 1 versus 100, if you will, and all of that, right? Problem is, I don't see them doing that. I hope they do, because that'd be awesome, right? A return to form, if you will. But I'm kind of like, Ubisoft has shown us they're very formulaic, they are formula driven. So if they do bring it back, the best we can probably hope for is more I would say Assassin's Creed kind of thing, which could be good too. You know, I'm not knocking it. But I just hope they return Michael Ironside specifically to his former greatness. You know,
I gotta ask everyone in the chat and you guys as well, who would be a happy gamer if this was just like a remake? Because we've talked about it on a couple shows ago. I've said, you know, this is, to me, it seems like the year of the remakes, the year, you know, we've got so many here, and we know we got so many in development. If this game was just a remake or a remaster, who would be happy with that?
Not so much master, but make would be awesome.
Well,
remake,
like, make from scratch.
Like
a remake of the original, or even Chaos Theory, with upgraded graphics and play controls. Bring it to the modern era, but bring everything you love about those games. Bring them in, because some of those games haven't aged as well as we like. I think the first two are classic games, but definitely was a Pandora Tomorrow. Wasn't Splinter Cell and Pandora Tomorrow? Yeah. You bring those, like I said, you give them a new coat of paint, not just like up-res. That's no good. They need to be rebuilt with better play control, better mechanics, and stuff like that. And I think I would be at least okay with that.
You know, I just wanted to say something. I wanted to push back on one thing that Asante was saying is about the Ubisoft of today. He's 100% right. Well, 99.9% right. However, that 0.1%. Look at Far Cry 6. They still have that shadow of greatness of those old ones, because a lot of people are actually looking at this Far Cry 6 and saying this is the best one since Far Cry 3. So they have the potential to bring back that greatness that we remember from the last generation of games, right? So it's there. It's just a matter of whether they get greenlit to execute, right? Because, I mean, there's got to be people working there. I hope I'm right. I mean, I may be wrong.
I have a buddy of mine that used to work at Ubisoft, and the way he tells me that they like green light processes, at least specifically nowadays, it's kind of like, oh boy, you know, like the creatives don't get as much juice as they should, you know. So I'm hoping that this is one of those instances where somebody with clout around there goes, look, this is a return to form. Look out there, people want this, and hey, they about the money, right? they can do it. And all we know that one thing we do know about them, when they get in, when they commit the money and they commit the to the project, they will work and work until that thing shines. How many games started off a little buggy or started off a little less than with the community, and they're still on it, and now it is, that's what they do. So I'm holding out hope.
You know what else it reminds me of, actually? Now that I was just thinking about it, the Splinter Cell series kind of reminds me of the Resident Evil. You remember how Resident Evil from 1 to 4, then 4 started to slowly shift into something else, and then 5, and then 6 was a complete fucking disaster, and then they just stopped for like years, and then they came out with a complete reimagining with 7 and absolutely regenerated the series. And now look at it; it's on top of the damn world. Right? Resident Evil Village is one of my favorite games of the entire year, right? Yeah. So, and number 7 is actually in my top 3 best games of all of last generation. So that's saying something.
And the G Fuel Maiden's Blood that's based off that game is fucking phenomenal too.
Wait, just stop. Turn the camera off, okay? Nobody needs to see you. Anyways.
Chris, you had a great point in the chat too that maybe you'd like to iterate here about episodic content.
Yeah, what if would you be happy if Splinter Cell went the way that Hitman went, where they had different chapters,
That's a cool idea.
About 10 to 12 hours, you complete chapter 1, then we got to wait a year. But then you get chapter 2. Continue flow of Splinter Cell content.
My answer to that, though, personally, is a no. I don't like that shit. Give it to me all at once, or don't give it to me at all.
Or why don't they just release a game and then they can do DLC for like 2 years? You know what I mean? Like do a chapter every, like look what they're doing with Valhalla. Valhalla, they're releasing single player content all the way till 2023. They're releasing new expansions. So yes, I think that maybe there's a happy medium. You release the full game, and then you have a season pass, and then for each DLC, the DLC will be different scenarios, right? Drago does not look like a young Michael Keaton.
I see it. Since I saw that, I see it now. Now I can't unsee it. Look at this. Come on now.
Well, yeah, he kind of does.
Actually. I've heard that a lot of times, man. Like, God, when I was dealing
drugs,
craps at a casino.
Sorry.
I'll tell you, man, I heard that all the time.
Did you say dealing crabs at a casino?
Craps.
Oh, craps.
Crack is what he was dealing with.
Yeah. Crack out of a casino. Interesting.
That's how we can afford that camera.
Oh, shit. Oh, great stuff. Any further thoughts on this? I mean, we know very little at this point, but, the fact that major media publications are posting something makes me believe there's definitely a little bit of smoke, or a little fire behind the smoke, perhaps. And, I mean, Ubisoft's got to know that people want this game. I mean, there's got to be enough of us out there willing to buy it, and the landscape certainly changed. Like I said, of course, the tricky part is how do you monetize it? How do you make money long after the new game smell is worn off, and that literally takes about 48 hours now, the way the industry's going, because everybody buys a new game and have got it forgotten about literally in 3 days. I saw that the other day. It's like, where's that Kenna game at? Nobody's talking about it. I'm like, well, that's just the nature of the beast now. Guess what? Back 4 Blood will be forgot about too by next Friday. We'll be on to something else. We'll be talking about Forza 5, and then we'll be on to something else. So, man, crazy times. Any further stuff?
Nope.
We're gonna all right.
Nope.
Let's get into it. Let's get into the next topic of the evening, guys, and that's about the Xbox fridge. The Xbox fridge, yes, we all know it's live, pre-orders going up, people trying to snag it and all that stuff, which I think is great. I think, how can you not be a fan of the Xbox fridge? I mean, personally, they didn't even have to make this thing exist, but that's the kind of stuff that Xbox does as a fan service. It started as a joke, now turned into a real product, and it has people excited. Yeah, it's not a console, but I mean, hey, when was the last time you actually had a refrigerator that was shaped like a console, and or a console shaped like a refrigerator? I don't know, either or, and put some of your best favorite beverages inside and pull one out and pop one down. I mean, I think it's cool, but here's the thing: what's not cool? Some people are actually, believe it or not, giving this early review bombs. How do you review bomb a damn refrigerator? That's what I want to know. Okay.
That's the problem of that website. If you haven't bought it, they should not allow you to leave a review. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Did you read some of those reviews, by the way?
Oh yeah, hilarious.
Like the broken English reviews. They're
Hilarious.
like, bought for friend. And like, I'm just trying to picture like Frankenstein talking. They'd be like, bought for friend. Didn't work. Plug in. Light, no working. 0 out of 5. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, you clowns. Yeah.
Yeah, so the review bombs and now, of course, scalpers are already trying to snag this thing up so they can have another hot item for the holiday season. If it isn't bad enough trying to get your hands on an Xbox Series X yet, but here they go again. So who wants to take this one? I'm going to leave this floor open. Who wants?
I'll do this real quick, because like you and Kylo Milo pointed out, and I tweeted it out as well. Everyone, don't buy a scalped fucking mini fridge, man. Like, make those idiots lose their shit. I don't know why like anyone would even try to scalp these. It's not like there's like a freaking like GPU in the fucking thing. Like like if there was like an R136 alpha coolant shortage or something, then I could at least understand the attempt of fucking scalping these. But the shortages on these, they're going to be like minuscule from time to time. And the thing is, it's like scalpers aside, I'm really thankful these things, this has such hype behind it and they're selling so well because maybe they'll release a full-size fridge, with the same, details as this mini fridge, and I'd be all over that. I'm not too hyped over this mini fridge. I'm glad a lot of people are, but that's what I want. I want the big motherfucking kahuna, you know what I mean? Anyone with me? Let me know a one in the chat if you're with me.
The one they gave Snoop Dogg
one?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I bet Snoop Dogg was probably so high he doesn't even realize it's there. We could probably walk in and take it.
I was pretty sure that Snoop Dogg gave away his big fridge, unless I'm wrong.
God damn it, Snoop.
I'm pretty sure he gave it away.
Just like, I need a fridge big enough to put some bodies in when the fuckers piss me off.
That's some Safe House Sam shit right there, man.
And then they gave it to that girl. What was that woman?
Justine. Yeah.
Justine, they gave it to her.
She always gets the Xbox stuff too. So
that
was traditional.
But like, you know what they should do? I mean, for people, there are people, not me, but there are people out there who have like extreme amounts of expendable income. They should like have like, that you could be able to have it tailor made, like the giant one. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why not? Like, it's not any skin off their back. Like, let them have it. But anyways, sorry, I kind of jumped in here tight. Were you done?
No, have at it, man.
Oh, you shook your head no. I was like, all right, well, fine, fuck you. Anyhow, yes, like, the thing is, Noof, I've come to this point now since the pandemic, and I've seen what happens with these scalpers and so forth, right? There are guys who literally make a living off this, and they make a shit ton of money because it's not just PS5s or Xbox Series X. These guys have entire storage units dedicated to this stuff, right? So they've got these computers running these, the buy bots and all that shit all day long, and they're buying everything from Apple Watches to iPhones to Xbox Series X's, PS5, and the biggest one, if you can believe it, actually you can believe it, are shoes, running shoes, right? You talk about like Nikes, the Jordans, and all that shit. There are guys who've got stacks of hundreds of them, limited edition ones that people will pay thousands of dollars for. And so these guys will just snatch up everything. So they're not specifically targeting the gaming community. They're just targeting everybody who's out there to purchase stuff. So they go across the board, like I said, from a PS5 to the new Air Jordans. And so they did that. And there was one guy actually specifically, I already saw his ad. He put, Asante, I think it was you, it was in our chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did he have like 160?
160 plus that he's done. And you're absolutely right. Like, if you have the bots already prepared and you have your proxy servers already laid out, the proxy servers basically give you a bunch of different names and a bunch of different addresses. And then you have the bots that snipe. They call them snipers. They go and they steal them from you, and they can do it in seconds. So in seconds, you have 150 names, 150 purchases, 100, like boom, just like that, right?
Yep.
And it's a business, but it
is
just
a business, and they make a lot of Asante, like hundreds of thousands.
Oh yeah, hundreds of thousands. Oh yeah, 100%. They make so much money, so much money. Please continue.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I've come to this conclusion now that I don't like. I mean, I'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? Like, if they're like, okay, the pre-orders today. Like, for example, the excuse me. The Aqua, what is it called? The Aqua controller. I bought it in August. I pre-ordered in August, right? So they're like, it's on sale today. Aqua Shift, that's what it was called. The Aqua Shift Xbox controller. And I'm like, that's beautiful. I need that like day one. So when it went on pre-order, I just kind of casually went to the website, I pre-ordered it, and then they sent it to me. No big deal. But I wasn't going to sit there for like hours on end trying to, fight off some scalper dude, because you know what? In a couple of months, it'll be sitting on a shelf somewhere, or else I'll be able to comfortably order it online or whatever, right? So now Aaron Greenberg did say very shortly after it sold out in 37 fucking seconds, Colt Eastwood was saying, right, in the US.
They literally took them out of people's carts. Happened to me. It was there. I was ready to hit buy. Oh, yeah, it's already removed. Sold out.
Right. 37 seconds is what Colt Eastwood was saying today. That's how fast it sold out, right? So, okay, fine. But then Aaron Greenberg said right after, he goes, guys, they're going to be on the store shelves, so don't worry about it. We're making a lot more. So that's fine. I'll wait. I'll go over to the Best Buy or to the EB Games like 2 minutes down the road, and I'll just go pick one up. Or I'll just order one online when they're available. Fuck it. I don't care. Like, it's not the end of the world. I'll get it. You know what I'm saying? So if I have to wait till like the end of December, fine. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? I've given up on fighting these guys because they are unbeatable. And the thing is, they will find ways around everything. You could put it up, like a lot of people are saying, oh, you can, put it up like this so the only console owners can buy it, this and that. Microsoft, guys, don't forget, at the end of the day, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, whoever, right? Apple, Google, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a shit about how you feel. All they give a shit about is your money, okay? And that includes our favorite consoles and our favorite whatevers, our streaming channel. They don't care about you. They care about the money. The bottom line is, because if they don't hit their bottom line, they don't have jobs, right? So they don't care. So that's what they look at. So they're like, if the scalpers buy everything, they just let everybody else on all the dregs on the floor, okay? The general unwashed, as they call them, or whatever, the royalty call them. They let them fight it out. You guys fight it out, but we're the ones selling it, right? They don't care. And so I don't care. So I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. If I get it, I get it. But I'm not going to fight over it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel. I just kind of like put my hands up and be like, whatever, man. When I get it, I get it. I do want it. In fact, I want 2 of them. All right. One for me, one for my wife, because I think she'd really like it too. It's really cute. So like, yeah, I'll get 2 of them, but when it's available. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna bellyache about it for like 2 months until I get my hands on it. But anyways, sorry.
The pandemic certainly has only amplified everything, because more people are forced to buy online than they have been in the past. We're seeing a lot less stocks go to actual retailers, which is very unfortunate. It made it a lot easier when you could walk into a store and physically pull one off the shelf. But when you got to walk in and you see those signs up on the window that says "Go online to purchase," you're like, "Well, thank you very much. You're just helping the scalpers. Thank you so kindly."
You brought that up. 2013, I never pre-ordered a PS4 or an Xbox One.
No.
I literally walked into the store with no pre-order, and they was sitting there.
Yep.
Both were sitting there. And it was much, because, I went, actually, it took like 2 stores, excuse me. So by the 3rd store, they're like, yeah, we got a couple left. And so I just grabbed one and walked out. I mean, I paid, but then I walked out. But you know what I'm saying? Right? So, you're right. Like, there was that whole other angle of the physical store thing, which is slowly being removed. And I still think, by the way, even though the pandemic is, somewhat winding down, depending on where you live. But the thing is, I think that what's going to start happening in the future is that the brick and mortar stores are going to become delivery spots for online ordering. So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, your local Best Buy, eventually, I'm telling you, in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe less than 10 years, I think that, like, your local Best Buy, you're not going to be able to walk in anymore. It's going to be a distribution center for all the online orderings. I'm telling you, that's the way it's going to go. They're going to start cutting out the staff, everything else. You can have 3-4 guys instead of 20 working in a joint, right? And then what's going to happen is you order all your shit online, and then that local Best Buy will be the distribution center for your neighborhood. You buy your shit, and then they send it to you.
That's right.
Or you pick it up outside.
And I'll warn all you escort.
Already doing that.
Yeah. I'll warn all you escort services out there: when sex dolls become ultra realistic and super cheap, your jobs are history. You'll have to work that corner extra hard.
Yep.
Let's bring in CUnit and Asante on the Xbox Fridge. CUnit, you look like the kind of guy that's been lining up for a pre-order. Did you happen to get one? Are you planning to get one? And what do you think about the whole debacle?
I actually missed the pre-order as well, and scalpers suck. They've always sucked, but like Mag said, scalpers have been part of the society with many different items, from shoes to now fridges. And I've always been the one that would go in person to pre-order. Like, I like waiting. Like, waiting in line sucks, but when you're waiting in line, you meet cool people that have similar interests in the hobby that you're waiting to pre-order. And hell, I mean, they could have done this with the fridges at Target. Last year, the pandemic was raging, in November, we still had 26 people in my at my GameStop waiting to pre-order the Series X. So I mean, I don't see why they didn't allow in-person pre-order at Target. It's a lot. It's an easier way to get there. Whoever gets there earliest gets the fucking pre-order.
Great point.
And if you don't want to, and if you want to stick it to the scalper, so to speak, just don't buy the scalp product. Be patient.
Yeah, or you could have a limited number of tickets and people just come in and they draw it out. And if you get one of the lucky tickets, you're the one who gets it, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Ticket order, bears fair.
I've got a golden ticket. Sorry, it's all I can think of is Willy Wonka all of a sudden.
Well, one time that's, I remember one year outside of my EB Games / GameStop. I mean, that's what they did with one of the pre-order lineups or whatever, like, because their lineup was so friggin' long, they're trying to wait people to get in. So what they did, instead of like, they basically handed out an order number, so that people had certain numbers. They go into the store first, so it wasn't just you just go sit in the line and all that stuff. It was kind of a cool way that they did it. It kind of worked out pretty good.
And I'll be picking one up in December at normal price at my own leisure.
Nice. Okay, Asante.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same with everybody on this panel. My only different angle on this is a problem that's been known for a long time. It's a stupid product. It's a goofy thing. People like it, people don't. It's just for the fans. So anybody belly aching about the actual fridge, calm down. You're fine. You'll get one eventually, as has been already amply said across the net by even the executives at Microsoft. This is not going to be a limited edition item. At some point, you'll be able to get to a store and it'll just be there and you can just pick it up, right?
Right.
So the belly aching about that is ridiculous. The only part of this puzzle that I'm kind of like a little annoyed at is y'all have had so much time and so much experience with this. Yeah. And there are ways to mitigate this, okay? I'm a tech guy. It's what I do. There are ways to mitigate this. This is a known thing. And this is why Mag says, they don't care about you. Sure, I completely agree. But where I disagree is people belly aching that this is a problem. Keep belly aching, because the only way they're going to actually institute the corrections that they need to is if all of you yell at them constantly. Like, this is a friggin' problem. It really is. GPUs are through the freaking roof because of this exact issue, right? They could solve it. It's not easy. It's not fun. The ROI isn't there for them. They can just, hey, in one way, we just hear a bunch of people bitching, but our pockets are fat. In the other way, we'll have to spend more money to get the quote unquote right people to buy it. It's not in their incentive to do anything unless the community at large goes, yeah, screw this. You guys need to do something about it. Because today it's a fridge. Tomorrow it's something more important. These things can easily be resolved. They can. But it seems like it's easier to apologize than to do something, than to be forward looking and potentially resolve the problem. And it's just, I don't know, it's all these little things that specifically Microsoft is falling into. That's really weird. Oh, we have Fable. Well, never mind. And, things like that. Come on, guys. Unforced errors. Smack yourself. What are we doing here? The fridge is not a big deal. It really isn't. But it just keeps speaking to their 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, as far as the zeitgeist, as far as the mind share. You guys are doing so well. You're heading in such a good direction. They could have, even as a stopgap, they could have cut the inventory in half and made half of it only accessible to the console store.
Right.
There is unless the store and the console is mirrored to the store on the web, which in certain cases it is. They can easily stop that. There's no way you can use any kind of scripting to do that from the store. You'd have to do it manually because there would be no connection to the net besides on a console, right? And you can't add any scripting things inside the console. Wouldn't be possible. This is known. This is easily like PlayStation has done this. Remember, you had to have the golden ticket. We'll check your trophies and see how many platinums you have before we decide to offer you a PS5. They were doing this stuff, right?
Yeah, they did.
It rubbed some people the wrong way, but ain't no scalpers touching any of those because there's no technical way to get around that. They could have done that, but like you're saying, yes, they could have and should have done both.
You know
because
what I mean? To the public,
isolating it only to the store is ridiculous, right? Only to the console store is ridiculous. But that this product is solely focused for your ardent fans, the people who die hard for you, right? And in this world that you live in, you want them more than anyone else because you're not even the first, and you're not first in mindshare. You're not even second in mindshare. You're way down. So if people are excited about your accessories or your stuff, you should, champion that, right? I understand that, it makes this seem such a big deal because, it's a dumb fridge. And it is, it's my issue with it is not the actual item. It's the idea that they have that, this is no big deal because it's becoming a big deal more and more. And these guys are technical wizards who have solutions to the problem. They're just going, it's not in our best interest to address it right now, which is unfortunate.
Well, hey, man, it's Save and Sam here. I'm just going to jump in here real fucking quick because I want to weigh in on this. It's my solution, guys. This is the Save and Sam solution to how you solve this shit. What I'm going to do is, hey, you guys want a motherfucking Xbox Series X or you want a PS5? What you got to do is you got to send me a picture of your penis. If you got a fucking 3-inch willy when it's hard, well, motherfucker, you can have your PS5, your Xbox Series X. You know why, son? Because I feel sorry for your ass if you fucking hide and you're only 3 inches. So you might as well have a big bitch console if you got a little tiny dick. That's what I say. And you know what? And all those fucking pictures, I give them to all my girlfriends and those motherfuckers. They be laughing all weekend long when they getting drunk.
If it's 3 inches, he probably ain't doing much with it anyway. You need a console. Come on.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah, you got a lot of time to game. Oh, and by the way, I also inadvertently started a fucking war in the chat about Willy Wonka. Let me tell you something, Kylo Milo, you scumbag. There is only one Willy Wonka, and it's Gene Wilder. Johnny Depp can go fuck himself. He was a terrible Willy Wonka with those stupid teeth and the ridiculous hair.
Oh,
he had that. What the fuck was that? The Spice Girl that married David Beckham.
He was playing Michael Jackson. Remember? He was playing Michael Jackson.
Right,
Victoria Beckham.
Okay, yeah, okay. He had the Victoria Beckham hair and those ridiculous teeth, and he was acting like Michael Jackson.
Yes,
nonsense. The king of pop will not be shamed on this show.
Oh,
I cried.
Have you seen the new Willy Wonka? I'm worried.
I cried when he died.
Dude, I fucking bawled when Michael Jackson died. There were only two people I cried for: Prince and Michael Jackson. I cried for those two.
I'm there with you.
None
on
of
both
that
counts.
shit. Gene Wilder, number one. Sorry, that's about as close to Tony B as you're gonna get tonight.
Although we went off the rails and we're going to keep going that direction because I think it's safe to say we've had enough chat on the Xbox mini fridge. I hope to get one. I'm glad to know that they will be in mass supply at some point, and I hope to snag one. I'd like to have one for the holiday season, but hey, if not, I'm not going to sweat the details, all that stuff. So there you go. To the people in the chat, press 1 if you're planning to get the Xbox mini fridge, or 2 if you could care less. Would love to know in the chat. So 1 if you're getting, and 2 if you could care less. All that stuff. And now it is that time of the evening since we're at the halfway mark. It is that Ask Arnold, Cletus, or Safe House Sam a question. And we will start with our esteemed guests and our panel members. They can have the first crack while you guys are coming up with some threes, is the Wads old gamer Masshole hanging out with us as well. Zero Cool, what's going on? All right, who's got questions? And who are you going to direct them at?
I've got one question for Arnold.
Arnold, okay.
Arnold, what are you going to do when you get your hands on an Xbox mini fridge? And what are you going to put inside?
Well, on a very, very, very tiny fridge. I was hoping it would be bigger. Like Titan Drago said, I want to be giant, big fridge because I've got so many beverages I want to put in there. But with the little fridge is great because you can take it around. It feels like a little baby. Take it out in public, or wrap it up in a blanket and bring it to the store and freak people out. I just open it up and say, "Come here, you little baby, you rubber baby Bumby bunkers," or whatever the heck is said in that movie. And I will take out the can of the drink it. I'll just drink it as I'm going. Maybe I'll get a couple of wobbly pops in there and act all drunk, and the cops will show up. Some kind of shit. It's thank you, Xbox. Amazing fridge. I could take it almost anywhere. It's what I wanted to put it in my backpack, put it on the shelf. I could put it in your mother almost. Yes, it's what they're going to do with it.
Everybody else?
I got
Chat,
one.
get in there.
I got one for you. And this is also to Arnold. What message do you have for all those who are review bombing the mini fridge right now?
What the hell kind of pathetic life do you guys live at all? You know, get the fuck into your parents' basement, put your fucking pants on, get some objective criticism, use your brains. I don't know what the fuck you're using, but you got to get out of there. You're starting to smell like piss, stale vodka, and fucking too many energy drinks. It stinks like a dirty hooker down there. So get out of your fucking basement, get outside, to get some fresh air, start doing something with your life instead of sitting there coming up with asshole-ish reviews. Motherfucker, you don't even own one. If you can't even open the door to the mini fridge, how the fuck can you review it? How the hell? I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. You guys disgust me. Your stupidity is off of the charts. I don't even know how to describe it anymore. Honest to God. What the fuck is wrong with you all? Get alive.
I gotta go to Wise Old Gamer before anybody else on the panel because I'm afraid it's gonna scroll by. Wise Old Gamer asks, "Hey Arnold, what would you rather find first, an Xbox fridge or Brian Laundry?"
What? The fuck is that last part?
Brian Laundry?
Who the fuck is Brian Laundry?
He's the fucking guy that's on the run right now because they say he killed his girlfriend, the YouTuber. He's been on the run for like 3 weeks. And the fucking FBI can't find him.
I'm the one to find Brian Laundry. What am I going to do with him? Am I going to catch him? I'm going to invite him over for a cold beer or something? What am I going to do with him? But at least with the Xbox mini fridge, I can cradle it. I can hug it. I can take it on the run. It's going to look so sexy on the wall. You know what? If last comes to least, the thing gives out. I can stick a barbell in the middle of it and use a couple of them for dumbbells. You know, Xbox dumbbells, something like that. You know, that's what I would do with it.
Fantastic. Anybody else?
So real quick, here's a quick aside. A Florida woman is suing Brian Laundrie's dad for $40 in an effort to help him break
Fantastic. $40. Well, Florida's
and
gonna Florida.
That's a real like headline. I'm sorry, I just had to put that out there. I'll go on mute now.
Yeah, like I said, Florida's gonna Florida.
How would
with this $40? What is it, like a package of cigarettes and a Big Mac? What the fuck are they doing there? Wow, the guys in Florida are really stupid.
Oh, it's
Indeed.
fantastic.
how would
I wonder if they're
Kratos
just trying to get
scalpers?
someone to serve him papers or something, you know? Toolman55 says, "Hey Arnold, do you think Titan Drago is showing off being the only one on camera?"
Well, I'm going to tell you, Titan Drago is the best looking one in the house. That's why he's on the camera. We've all seen my ugly mug a million times. God fucking knows who don't want to look at Noof Nukem. I mean, that guy scares his cats. As a matter of fact, you know why he fought so much? Because his air trying to get away from his face. That's why. And you know, mag is pretty sexy, but there's only so long you can stare at a bald man's head before you start thinking there's either a tit hanging out or your asshole's getting cold air.
Mizel Gamer also says, "Hey Cletus, I heard you won the Squid Game. Where did you hide that squid?"
Well, hey, fiddly diddly, let me tell you this. Hey, I'll tell you where to hide that squid. You know what? I'll tell you about it to take her pants down. That ain't a mustache she got dangling.
Damn.
She be squirting all right. I never see my kind. Might be a little that squid juice down there. Yes, indeed. But you know what? I get there and I flick it before I lick it, but I do it.
Oh, Jesus.
Man.
That was great.
Hey Cletus, I want to know what's your favorite type of beer, buddy?
Anything that gets me a little bit fizzy and dizzy. Yeah, I can drink just about anything. I mean, my God, man, I can drink alcoholic piss water. I really don't care as long as it calls it beer, near beer, queer beer, and near beer, sheer beer. I don't give a damn what kind of beer it is. I will drink it. I drink moonshine. I drink the piss out of a dead horse, man, when I'm thirsty. That's how I rolls, baby. There's nothing that can scare off clean as fuck. I got 3 brain cells and 2 teeth, so don't even be talking.
Oh, fantastic.
All
By the way,
right, there we go.
Noob, you got a super chat up here. That was great, by
What?
the way.
Super chat.
Royal Boyle.
Oh yes, shit. Did anybody catch it? Because I forgot to.
I got it. You want me to read it out?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Hey,
Roy,
okay,
good to see you in the chat.
We got $5 from our good friend Royal Boyle 78. By the way, Royal Boyle, it's nice to see you back in the chat, brother. And wish you all the best. Hey, and also thank you for all the positive messages you put on Twitter every day. It doesn't go unappreciated. Anyways, he says, "What's good, Gad? Big shout out to my guys, Noof, Mag, Titan. Hope you are all well. I don't need the fridge. I'll just store it in my PS5. It's just as big." Fantastic. Great super chat, brother.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Royal Boyle. Good to see you here. Wazo Gamer, what just happened? Free Jack, what is going on? Pure Flack, Monkey, Princess Zelda is in the house. Spider-Man 356 still hanging out with us as well. Kylo Milo, the Dr. Dreadpool, Crispy Bomb, Born Distracted, the Wise Old Gamer, Massholes here, Pixel Slapper, Master Puppet, Iceman LMH. What is going on? Nix is here as well. Caitlin, Mav,
Yeah,
in
we
the
got a lot of
house.
people
Tony
here.
Grasso, Marlesco, Crazy Greek Dude, Zero Cool, Mucho Churro, Casava. There you go, man. Great people here tonight.
Dreadpool. Did you hear what he said after Asante said about the $40 suing? He's like, slow news week in Florida.
Indeed. Oh my God.
Oh, fuck.
All right.
Oh, Dread, you're the best.
Oh, shit. All right, guys, we're going to keep the show rolling. That was a great segment. Thank you, Arnold and Cletus, for coming in and answer those fantastic questions. All righty, guys. We got one that before we get to one of our other topics, this is one we didn't really have on the schedule, but this one's definitely good for a laugh. Let me bring it up here. Where was I at? Just a second here. Titan brought it to my attention. It's about Dbrand. Now, if you're not sure who Dbrand is, not so long ago they made some side plates or face plates, whatever the hell you want to call them, for the PlayStation 5, all knowing that Sony could potentially take them to court instead of giving them sort of an official branding or whatever. And that's exactly what they did. Took them to court, apparently. They decided to come up with a revised faceplate, it looks like, and sort of made like an ad sticking it to Sony. Quite funny, as a matter of fact. Titan, bring us in on the details. This one was really, really funny, and we only bring it up because it's nice to see them having a little fun with this and making a functional product that, honestly, like, how hard is it to either just give these guys a steel approval or just let them do it? It's not like it's fucking up anything.
Yeah, these guys are awesome. This is the best way to stick it to a company that I have ever seen. Like, so they got, called out by Sony when they made their face plates or whatever. And these mugs, they were ready. Like, they're like playing a game of chess. These guys are 2 steps ahead, and they didn't miss a beat. I gotta read this. Small section called "Our Loss Is Your Gain." And there's like 4 pages, like just as good as this one, but this is my favorite. If you haven't seen it yet, check my last tweet on Twitter at Titan Drago. But one of these pages says, imagine this. You're a $15 bajillion whatever enterprise who just spent a small fortune designing their next generation gaming console. A privately held corporation run by robots makes it black. The world rejoices. You're livid. You vent your frustration to a team of lawyers. They get to work. Now, under threat of litigation, those robots have to redesign their dark plates while also funding a legal defense. Needless to say, some corners were cut. You're welcome. So they redesigned these face plates to make them actually, I believe it said they made the system run X amount of degrees cooler. I don't know, 4 degrees, 8 degrees, something like that.
4 degrees cooler now because of it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they redesigned these things. They put, eventually, what do you call it? Vents on the sides, whatever, and made it, ergonomic and everything. And they cut out the long flaps. Those long flaps just look ridiculous, anyways. And in my opinion, and
long flaps.
Yeah, and they make it look legitimate here. And so these guys I tweeted out, like, I love this because it's just so, oh my God, I just love this for so many reasons. What do you guys think about
long flaps?
Oh, Christ, here he comes again.
Go ahead, man. Anybody jumping in here? Asante, CUnit. Go for it, guys.
Yeah, I'll jump in here real quick. I actually bought the first iteration of the dark plates when they first came out. And actually, the reason why I bought it is exactly the reason why people are so excited about them now, because they were so snarky in their delivery. They were like, literally in the instruction manual. I'm holding my old dark plates as we speak right here. They're in my office. They say, "Sony, we dare you, sue us." This was from like last year.
Amazing.
So they knew this was going to happen. They specifically said this, right? And then, of course, they had the second design waiting for the moment that would happen. And now, of course, checkmate, they got you, right? And the best part about it is the first one, they didn't copyright. So obviously Sony had something to say. The second one, first off, Sony doesn't offer the same kind. They've changed it just enough, made it better, and now they've copyrighted it. So if Sony ever decides to make one that has these vents that actually, is beneficial to it, they'll have to license it from Dbrand themselves. So it's like they not only did they expected Sony to go there, and of course they took the bait, and now they got you. They got you in the public. They're laying you out, and there's just nothing you can do about it. These
companies acting just
geniuses.
the company's acting just like the same fanboy, the little fanboy fans that they got, man. They're acting just the same as them right now, man.
Absolutely awesome. And I will say, if you don't have them, if you're lucky enough to have a PS5, my F5 game was strong, forgive me, get those dark plates. They are awesome. They are very, very good. And now, you do that and you stick it to that corporation who's trying to eventually sell you the same console. Probably, there'd be a world where in 2024 or something, there's the black version that has like maybe the Spider-Man logo, and they're going to charge you, hundreds of dollars extra for it. Now you can basically tell them to go pound sand because you can get a better alternative. Dbrand is great when it comes to this. Very, very true.
Fantastic. I love that. I love what they're doing. It's almost like they've got like this like guerrilla marketing style. You know what I mean? Like they're just kind of like in the bushes. They're in the trenches. You don't know where the hell they're coming from, and they're not afraid.
And they're smart because they're getting us guys talking about it now.
Exactly.
Indeed,
like I said, it's like guerrilla marketing, right? Or if you play Far Cry 6, guerrilla. So you are a nice guerrilla. So, I like you. Right. So I think it's an amazing move. And you know what it reminds me of? And I think we talked about it pre-show. It reminds me of Wendy's. And anybody who knows the Wendy's social media account in the chat, you guys know what I'm talking about. These guys are funny motherfuckers. Let me tell you something. And when they go after another company, they are hilarious. When they go after Burger King, they go after McDonald's, they don't give a shit. It ain't about that little girl with the pigtails anymore. They're like, fuck you. We're going to make jokes and make fun of you and this and that. Taco Bell, they shred on a regular basis. And, of course, their followers. So if you say something to their followers, they will shred you in the chat. It's amazing. So these guys are doing the same thing. And I love how they're just like what Asante was saying. He's just like, yeah, go ahead. Try and sue us. And they're just amazing. Obviously, they've got all their... the thing is, at the end of the day, I've found this a lot with some of these corporations, especially Sony and Nintendo specifically. They don't seem to have any humor. It doesn't seem to be a thing with them, like maybe I don't know what it is. I'm not going to get into all that, someone label me something, but I'm just saying there seems to be a real lack of humor when it comes to their corporate structure. Like you see what happens when a real Nintendo fan posts something, on like YouTube or something like, hey, man, guys, you got to check this out. I'm so excited for it to come out. I'm a big Nintendo fan. And Nintendo's like, fuck you. You're off.
Hell yeah.
Right? And it's like, leave the fucking
Did you
kid
buy
alone,
that for the
man.
third time? If not, get the fuck out of my face.
It's like, fuck off. It's just a 18-year-old kid just having some fun. Like, Jesus Christ, grow up. And Sony seems to be just the fucking same, man. Sorry, now I'm getting angry. And like Sony seems to be exactly the same. There's no humor in it.
No humor at all. Yep, very true.
Jesus. It's like the uncle from fucking Ghost of Sushima. Like, smile once in a while. Christ almighty.
That's so true.
Smile once in a while. You might feel better. Oh, Master Puppet, that is disgusting. Yeah. Thanks, Noof. I lost all train of thought. Goodbye. You're up, buddy.
I'm all about the smaller company or the smaller person kind of getting the W. Big corporation, lots of money. PlayStation could easily, put out, their own side plates. They could, license this company, help people out. Xbox does it all the time with different companies. A big thing is Xbox Pope, if anybody knows who he is. He gets licensed by people all the time to do special products. And being that at my place of employment, I'm a union rep. So all the time, the big company, try to impose on the people that I work with, anytime I can get a win for someone that I work with, it's kind of the same situation, kind of sticking it to the big company. So I'm all for this company and their side plates. I unfortunately don't have a PS5 yet, but as soon as I do, best believe I'm going to get some side plates.
And they look better too, for sure. They really do.
Hell yeah.
It's
Am
slimming.
I the only asshole who likes the white console?
Yes.
You may
I
very
love
well be.
it.
I love the white.
You may very well be.
too.
Yeah.
Like I'm a very.
Well, that's
like,
two of us, Meg. I like the white console.
I
Oh, there
love
you go.
it. Like
I
I
just
think
want it
because
to
it has
match.
because of the two tone, because of the black through the middle and the white
yeah,
sides.
yeah. It's got the black.
Like
in the
that
middle.
new the Nintendo
love it.
OLED, like that new OLED for Nintendo looks the best to me. That white and black one is awesome.
My wife refused to let me keep that thing on the table next to next to the Xbox until I got the black plates. Seriously, no joke. She was like, "This thing is an eyesore. It doesn't belong here. You can put it in the cabinet." I'm like, "It won't fit in the cabinet." Well, do something about it.
See, that's why I like the
No
white.
joke.
Even the DualSense 5, like I love the white controller with like the black lining all around and stuff. I think
That I agree with. Yeah, I think the white controller is cool. I like that, and I like the Pulse headset is also the white and black. I dig that. But the console itself, I think if it was smaller and two-tone, okay. But since it's so large, it kind of it's imposing and it takes over things. When it's black, it's not so large.
I don't
I
know.
just want to match
gotta
every
like
other system I have
Hey,
to match all my other systems. The PS2,
Yeah, there you
the
go.
Xbox,
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
I'm just like for the aesthetic purposes.
Well,
See,
honestly,
I'm looking
like
at it right
Titan
now.
said,
Like,
the fact that they got rid of those high-rise flaps up in the end that kind of look like Batman's ears, like the fucking console looks a lot better now, like with their actual casings on it.
Mhm.
It looks sleeker. It just like nicer in my opinion. I mean, I could care less for the bullseye vent in the side, but I mean, obviously it makes it cooler, so it serves a purpose.
yeah.
More like the bunny from like Donnie Darko. The bunny's ears.
Oh, yes. Come on. There's a masshole in the chat. Black is slimming. It's not clothing.
Black is living, okay? It is.
It's not like we're trying to put yoga pants on the PS5 to make it look skinnier. Come on, man.
I can tell you, as a dude who has had the white plates and switched to black, it got accepted in my household after I put the black on there.
That's because your wife forced you to do it. I think you would've
Indeed.
liked it. See, I'm staring at my TV right now, which is on the other side of my room. Right, I got the TV there. I got the black Series X on one side, and I got the white PS5 on the other side. It balances so nice, and then I just like it, man. Well, it's just me. I just like it. I'm not gonna buy any plates. I just enjoy because you know what it is for me. Whatever, like even like the color schemes of my house, the lighter the better, because it almost feels like cleaner to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's just me. I'm crazy, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I told Cletus. I told Cletus. Cletus, you got that PS5. I said, you better take them white fucking panels off there, buddy, because you got enough white trash hanging around your fucking house.
Oh, man.
Oh, fantastic. Jesus Christ. He's coming out like a disease. Like every once in a while, it just pops up for like a conversation. Fantastic.
He leaves a safe house every so many minutes,
Listen to Wise Old Gamer in the chat. He goes, Mag cannot be staring at his wife because I'm staring at her.
Oh,
Oh,
Max
Wise
going
Old
to the house
Gamer,
for
you are the
30
best.
minutes thinking, is there a camera in here somewhere?
Yeah. It's okay, Wise Old Gamer. It's all good, man. It's all good. He put just kidding, but I don't think he is. No, Wise Old Gamer, do it, because then it gives me an excuse to go out and do something. Come on, man.
oh, there you go.
I got my eye on a few of the soccer moms from the school. Come on.
Freak your wife out tonight and tell her Wise Old Gamer is staring at her somehow. in your
Honey,
house.
if you're listening to the replay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I had to come back at him. I couldn't just let him
Can you
do that
imagine?
to me on air, babe.
She's gonna be driving to work tomorrow morning. This morning, excuse me, at like 4 a.m, listening to the replay, because you always listen to the replay. She's gonna hear that. Oh fuck, I'm dead.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's
And now she'll hear you say this too.
Yeah,
Oh,
nah,
shit,
she's used to me by now.
All right. Any further thoughts on the Dbrand plates? And I think it's pretty cool. That's all I can say. I'm glad that they're having a little fun with it, because obviously lawsuits are certainly no fun. And I mean, and they're trying to make money. And a lot of times, these companies can avoid a lot of this crap. Just give them, as long as it's quality stuff, give them a license and fucking authorized by Sony or licensed by Sony, and they it's win-win. Like, to me personally, Sony could make a percentage or whatever on their sales, and more people would obviously pick up the these face plates or side panels, whatever you want to call them, and have a console that looks a little more aesthetically pleasing to each and every person. So
while we were talking, I kind of traced back where this all started. There was a company called Customize My Plates when the PS5 was first announced. They basically took pre-orders up the wazoo. They were ready to sell, and then basically Sony squashed them at the last minute. And that's what caused Dbrand to get involved. And then that's when they brought out their order that says, "Go ahead, sue us" on top. And you know how inside the PS5 they have the various the symbols with PlayStation 5. The triangle and they made the same thing, but theirs was a nuclear, it looks like nuclear waste sign, skulls, a square-headed robot. Yeah. It's exactly the same logo, but they call it a familiar but legally distinct apocalyptic spin on the classic button shape.
I love it.
They are ready for it. It's awesome. So, pro tip: if you ever need any kind of skins for your stuff, they do good on consoles as well as like phones and laptops and stuff. I always check out their stuff because they are ridiculous and they're cool, and their marketing department always hits it out the park. So there you go.
Nice. Yo, Chris, so what are you running anyway, man? Because like I said, I don't know you all that well yet. So which consoles do you have right now? Were you able to snag a Series X and PlayStation 5 or?
Oh yeah, I was second in line when the Series X pre-orders went up at GameStop. I got there like 5:30 in the morning, and I waited all the way till I think I got in the door at 11:30 a.m. So
damn,
about 6 hours. And I don't have a PS5 yet, unfortunately. I didn't have the financials to be able to warrant getting the PS5. But I play my old video game consoles just as much as I do my new ones because all my favorite games are on the PS2. So even yesterday, I was playing PS2 while everybody's playing Back 4 Blood and all the games on Game Pass. So I'd say PS2 and Series X is probably the two consoles I played the most.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. Play what you play.
Absolutely nothing. That's awesome.
That is awesome. Nice to see people going back and enjoying some retro classics.
You do it better than I do. I buy new consoles and then I hack them to play old systems. So my wife laughs at me all the time. Everything's a Dreamcast around here. I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
And very, very seldom I play on PC. I don't play too much on there.
Yeah, fair enough. Good stuff. All right. Well, we got one more topic. Obviously, Tony Baloney is not with us tonight, so we do apologize for those coming in late. He's a little under weather. I guess that little vacation got the best of him. So, yeah, he won't be sitting in tonight. But we do have another topic we are going to get into right now and all that stuff. Let's find out what it is. Let me see where we're ending off on this one tonight, guys. Sorry, I'm just...
EA.
Yes, EA.
EA
apparently, well, they're still going to continue to have the FIFA license, but it looks like FIFA themselves are pulling away from EA, so they're no longer going to have the exclusive license on FIFA branding moving forward, which is kind of a huge deal. Obviously, it's a big blow to EA. It's had the monopoly on the FIFA brand for a long time, but now other competitors will be able to come into the market. We haven't seen a lot of competition in the European football space, football, soccer, whatever you guys want to call it. Some people get upset when you call it soccer. It's soccer to me, but football to other people. That sort of thing outside of PES, which has gone through sort of a transformation and sort of fallen off a little bit in recent years. And I think that's largely because, again, they didn't have the marketing as well. And they didn't have some of the big names and those teams that are very recognizable within the FIFA branding. So how do you guys feel about this? Do you think it's a good thing? Because personally, I do. I think it's a great thing. Maybe we'll start to see a little bit of the competition come back, which made sports games great during the Dreamcast, Xbox, PS2 era, that sort of thing, when everybody was kind of taking their putting their hat in the ring, and we saw some phenomenal titles across the board, not just from people like EA, but we saw a lot of stuff. So, but before we get to answering that question, let's catch up with the doctor who comes in hot and heavy with a $5 super chat. Tony B, My girl is in love with the Mag's hairless cat. Can I borrow him to bribe her? Weird if I pet him while I get the sweet ass play. Well, it's a question for Tony B, but maybe Mag, you can answer that question.
He just stepped away for a second.
Oh, maybe Mag stepped away. So never know. Maybe Tony B is coming in here. We never know. I don't think we need any more Safe House Sam back tonight, do we? We don't know what that guy's going to say. He's pretty off the wall. Anyway, let's talk on this topic. Let's start with Mr. CUnit. Bro, how do you feel about it? Is that probably a good thing for a change?
Oh, it's definitely a good thing. I've always been big on, NBA's been like watered down for years. FIFA's been watered down for years. Madden's been watered down for years. You go back to when we had my favorite football game, if you remember ESPN football, like it was like 2K5.
Yes,
it was one of the best football games. It was created
Aggressively priced.
Oh my God, was that the one with Terrell Owens on the cover?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You had your own home. You could decorate, put your trophies in there. Lounge area. It was a great. I don't know where
regarded as the best football game of all time. Some people say.
Yeah, and we need more of that. Whether it's in the soccer space in FIFA, whether it's in NBA. I'm tired of 2K. I was always an NBA Live kid, and even Madden. Like Madden's been the same Madden for years, and like even when I think it was Madden 21 or Madden 22, whichever one came out, and still had like the previous Madden's assets in the game where you could still see like the posters and shit in the crowd. That's fucked up. We need these video game companies to do better, and the only way to do that is through good competition.
Yeah, they had the previous year's Madden on the banner up in the NFL stadiums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friggin' terrible,
Someone
man.
forgot to paint off the 1 and put a 2. Like, come on, dude. That's your only job.
They literally cut corners and got cut, pasted, and got busted.
That's hilarious.
Freaking K. Asante, what do you think, man?
Oh, I think this is the greatest news I've heard in a while. I think, and the first news was, we're going to double the fee to like, what was it? $2 billion for you to be able to keep the license. And everyone's like, I don't think EA can do that. I'm like, we know what's happening. This is awesome. This is great. They have been wild, like high on the hog, like just collecting the check for too damn long on those franchises. It's time for some competition. It should have happened a long damn time ago. I think like, what was it? I think wasn't it Marvel that first started that whole thing of I think we're gonna take it away from you now and open it up a little bit, and people went and then MLB went you can keep making it, but you're gonna have to throw it to the other guys, and the money started flowing, and they went and now FIFA's like, screw it, we want everybody in.
And now Disney with the Star Wars license handing it out to various publishers instead of just keeping it under one umbrella, which is great.
Indeed, yes, that's what it's about.
It's
screw all that.
It's all about
ahead,
MLB The Show.
Yes.
That was, and you know what? We actually talked about this months ago. That it was the Thanos snap for the sports game industry. I'm telling you, it changed everything that day, and especially like Asante was alluding to just now, about a month after when they released the numbers.
Yep,
okay, when they released the numbers of how many people not only doubled, but then you see the engagement go up so much higher when it ended up on Game Pass. That's a whole other story. But however, they did see that. You don't think everybody else was watching? You don't think NHL was watching? PGA was watching, right? NBA.
My question about this is, as hard as it will be to get, I would love to hear what Sony ultimately, after they got out of their fields, how much extra money did they make because of that move? Because they're also money people, right? They're also about that.
Sure, of course.
Could that be the reason why you hear Jim Ryan going, our consoles are so limiting? Because they got some extra ducats that they weren't getting before from that MLB The Show, whether they like it or not.
Brother, these guys don't have horse blinders on. They're watching everything. You don't think Jim Ryan's sitting right now with a port with his feet up going, what the fuck, man? He's looking at these engagement numbers on Xbox. And he's probably sitting there going, God damn it, that Sea of Thieves is a fucking shit game, and everybody's playing it. Then he throws the port against the wall. Yeah. He throws the port against the wall, goes, get me another.
Because
come on, man.
On Game Pass, they could have also gotten some residuals off of the engagement there too, right? We don't know the terms of the contract, but it's very well in the realm of possibility since they made the game, right?
Yep.
They made it. So there must be some contractual obligations there where even if it's on Xbox or any other platform, they could potentially be making some residuals. And we've already seen that, you know, those powers that be that run PlayStation these days, you can say what they want about it, but they're money people first and foremost. And if that money is good enough, they go, damn, man, we gonna have to start training our people because these games got to go everywhere. Look at how much money the competition gave us. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I don't think that it changed the world. You know, they can be WWF in front of you, you know, Vince McMahon, I smack you, you smack me. In the back, they're all collecting the check and counting it together. You know what I mean? Of course
they are. Didn't you see that tweet I put up a couple of weeks ago with Phil and what's his name there from Sony hugging each other? Okay, and they were at like a fucking carnival together. I could picture them eating cotton candy from like the same stick. You know what I mean? And like that's what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And this works best for all of us, right? This is all great for all of us. You know, at the end of the day, when this happens, there's competition left and right. Just like Chris was alluding to before. One of the greatest football games came out because they were being aggressive. Wasn't that like priced at $30 at the time too? And still to this day, considered one of the best football games of all time. You know, it's time when we all get out of our fields with all of this and go, yay, this is great. This is absolutely awesome for all.
The thing is,
Sony's getting tired of walking into the boardroom at this point and going, yeah, we sold like almost 3 times as many consoles as Xbox, but we're also making 3 times less money than Xbox.
That's right.
Right? Yep. That's the thing. And then they're going, so how do we fix that? That's the thing. And that's what people don't point out. Yeah, you're selling all the consoles, but you're still making way less money. At the end of the day, the numbers to them don't mean shit if they ain't making the same dough as your competitor who's selling way less consoles. How does that happen, guys?
Yeah. By the way, Splendiferous, welcome to the chat, brother. It's his first time here.
Awesome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Great community.
Hell.
My thing is with this, back NFL 2K5 or 2005. I feel like it was so much easier to make a sports game back then because of just nowadays. Like, look at all the AI that's got to be in Madden. Let's take Madden, for example, just the latest Madden. Like, there's got to be all kinds of AI, and that's developed. Like, it's true that a lot of it is cut and paste, but the one thing that is noticeable is the AI improvements from year to year, I feel like, because back in 2005, there were a lot of plays that you could just go to that were unfucking stoppable, you know, and even like, maybe a decade even past 2005, 2015, there were still, the AI wasn't quite there yet. I feel like last year and this year, like the AI is getting to the point where it's like they've thought of everything kind of thing. There are no automatic plays, and I could be wrong about that because I haven't played, competitively online, and maybe it's that fact that I haven't done that and that I haven't, put as many hours into it because I'm still waiting on this new Madden to go into Game Pass. I'm not buying that new goddamn Madden. I had it on, I got the what do you call it? The trial. Mm-hmm. There was like a 10-hour trial or something like that. It was pretty long. And I was like, this is not getting me to buy the new game because all I notice on this new one is the updated rosters. Like, what really pissed me off about it was like there seemed to be less fantastic plays than last year's Madden. And this year's Madden was kind of herky jerky at points, and that's gonna come. They'll patch things like that. But as far as the license thing goes, like I'm not a huge soccer fan or football, to the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. But this is a huge step in the right direction. Next, I need EA to lose the NFL rights. Allow them to make Madden, but take away the exclusivity of it, right? Because it's funny that CUnit mentioned it because someone tweeted out that that NFL 2K with Terrell Owens on the cover, and I freaking loved that game. And still to this day, that game had one of the reasons why it was the best was because to me it had the best halftime show in the history of any NFL football game. I loved that halftime show. They would actually, replay clips from the game and stuff and talk about it. That was in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Like the current NFL halftime setup is freaking terrible. I can't wait to hit that damn skip button, and then when you hit the skip button, the douchebag announcer is always like, "Well, it looks like we were, skipping the halftime show due to time constraints." Like that's such a fucking unrealistic quote. They would never fucking say that, and that takes away. That really pisses me off. It takes away, it completely takes away from my interest of the game at that point, for another couple minutes until I make, another good play or something. But the thing is, here's another huge thing, right? Like the football games that aren't NFL licensed that, use generic teams, all those games, they're trash, man. Fucking like unplayable garbage. Like if you got there, oh man, what was that one game? It's like I can't remember the fucking name of it, but it's so corny. And
Blitz?
No, it wasn't an arcade. They're like trying to, they really tried. It wasn't an arcade like Blitz or like Mutant League Football or anything like that.
NFL Fever?
Yes, I think that was what it was. Maybe that's what it was.
Fever had Peyton Manning on the cover.
That's the one that came out on the Xbox. It was made.
Oh no, that's not the one. What I'm talking about. Like they had
NFL Quarterback Club.
No, this is recent. This is like this year and last year. This game came out, and it's it's in the game store or whatever. But in my opinion, Microsoft needs to jump all over this because let's look at the Microsoft umbrella right now. Get a sports development team that loves sports and are passionate about it. Because if we look at everything. Like, really, Xbox has pretty much all the genres really well covered, except for sports. If they got a freaking team working on, a legitimate team working on a sport, boy, oh boy, they got another card in their pocket, man. You can sell that every year. Game Pass, that's so huge.
Well,
so, as a sports player, can I ask you a question? Do you play baseball games too?
No, not really.
Okay. The reason why I ask is because it seems like, and I think maybe, and you can tell me if I'm wrong because you play it far more than I do. It seems that maybe the reason why the non-NFL official ones are trash is because everyone knows that if you're not playing the NFL game, it's not even worth playing. Because the reason why I say that is because on the baseball side, they've had a problem with that for a long time, right? The show has been the game, right? It has been the game. But those who played like Super Mega Baseball, the non,
I played that.
That was fun.
It's a damn good game. It's great simulation, even though it's goofy and whatever, because they can't have the real characters. The underpinnings of the game is still pretty damn solid, right?
You can get away with sports games, and you can get away in sports games, in my opinion, if you make it like that arcadey funness. You know what I mean?
Well, but they also have strategic, like, and I'm not as good of a baseball. I dabble here and there, but that game was well enough regarded that even though people still hated on it because it wasn't the official MLB game, right? People still played that because it was actually pretty decent as far as strategic gameplay is concerned, right? But as you've pointed out, all the non-NFL games are always like hot trash. I wonder why there's a difference. I always thought it was because it's not unlike other sports. The NFL is about the NFL. It's not about the football game. It's about the NFL. So if you don't have that license, you got nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you got a point there. I think, like I said, like if you go arcade style, you can get away with something like that without having like. And my main example of that for the for football is Mutant League Football.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's pretty good. They released the latest Mutant League Football not too long ago, within the last year, and it was fun. The thing is, it didn't even have every team, because they don't call them the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah. They'll call it something close to that with like a monstrous name or whatever. But yeah, they were like slowly adding teams to that because I believe I bought that game. I just could never get anyone else to play with me. Same thing with the Super Mega Baseball. I tried to get like a little league going on that, and that nothing ever came of that either.
Chris shared an article that goes back to, I think it's 2020, but I remember a lot of people have forgotten about this. But 2K actually did secure an NFL license. But here's the deal. There will be some NFL games with NFL teams being made by 2K outside of Madden, but the deal is Madden will only be the only simulation style football. So basically what that leaves 2K is basically a football version of WWE Battlegrounds, where they're probably going to be able to make like these arcadey style football games, but not the real deal simulation is what I'm thinking. And we should probably see one pretty soon, because if it was in 2020, they're probably well into development at this point. Interesting. But, yeah, you know.
But the thing is, a soccer game I feel would be a lot easier to develop for. You know what I mean? Like an NFL, you gotta get all the AI. You gotta get the cornerbacks AI, the defensive linemen. You gotta, you know, when they attack, you gotta have all kinds of movements, and the more the better.
Are you implying that soccer is an easier game? You better slow down, Nick. You're gonna get stones thrown at you from the world right now, my friend.
Wait, what are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm saying, are you implying that game is more simplistic than American football? Because you're gonna get stones thrown at you from all over the world.
Throw them stones, because I'm gonna tell you this right now. It takes 3,000 times more effort to develop a NFL game than it does a football game. That's just a guarantee.
All right.
Like in football, there, buddy. All right, in football, the only time players crash into each other is when a fucking yellow card or a red card goes down, and you got to fucking develop like a tripping mechanism. All right. In NFL, you got blockers, you got blocking, the football, you got interceptions.
Yeah, we get it.
There's a million more animations you got to come out with an NFL game. Throw them stones at me, people. Come at me.
I agree with Drago.
8 seconds of play, 9 minutes of commercials. We get it. We get it.
You know,
we get it.
I can see the hate comments on the.
I can literally watch tomorrow. I
step back from this conversation because I do not endorse this line of.
I'm going for it. You can watch a touchdown in the NFL and then go take a shit, go take a nap, come back. They still haven't fucking kicked the ball yet. Like for like 8 fucking minutes.
Man, take your fucking pony hat off, will you? I know you got it on right now because you're acting like one right now. Take that shit off. We're talking about games here, not the actual real thing.
There he is.
Well, fucking well. You called down the thunder, you fucking got it, scumbag. That's right. I took a cough drop before I had to get something out of my fucking system. Let me tell you something, scumbags. First of all, let me get into something else before we even get into Titan Drago, which is basically the focus of this entire conversation. Now, Kylo Milo, scumbag. Willy Wonka, okay? I heard what you were talking about with the mag earlier. Let me tell you something. Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka, you know what he looks like? He looks like he swallowed a whole pack of chiclets and then boffed them back up. Okay, with those ridiculous teeth. Unbelievable. That is not Willy Wonka. He's just a wacko. He needs to go into a mental institution, very similar to the doctor. Okay? Now, enough of that. Let's get down to business here. Titan Drago. Rubbing your eyes about 15 minutes ago in the middle of a show with the camera on. Why don't you rub my balls, okay? Let me tell you something. Act professional if you're going to be on camera. And speaking of being on camera, no wonder our fucking numbers are down, okay? Titan Drago's the only person who's got his camera on. It's the only face that people see. Now imagine a new person coming to check out this podcast, and they go, hey, let's see this podcast I heard some people talking about. It's kind of funny. They click on it, and they see your ugly mug, and then that's it. Unsubbed instantly. Okay, so don't do it again. Turn the goddamn camera off. I don't care if I have to look at that little ball fucking talking back and forth all fucking night. I don't want to see your face. Now, second thing, Dbrand. Dbrand. I've got something for Dbrand. Let me tell you something. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to them myself personally and some of my business associates. And we're going to get a Titan Drago inspired flaps, and we're going to call them D-Bag. And it's going to be 2 plates that we're going to put directly over Titan Drago's face so we don't have to fucking see it anymore. And on top of it all, I think it'd be a great idea. And on top of it all, see that you won't be able to see, it would be a nice idea if you just walked yourself off a cliff. Then we would have ourselves a better day. Now, I'm not. Yeah. I know Tony Baloney wasn't supposed to be here tonight. Let me tell you something. But Tony Baloney is here tonight for a short little while anyway, you know, because he's got a bit of a sore throat. The mag's got a bit of a sore throat. You know, I've heard that a lot of ladies been complaining about this once in a while. They say, oh, you know, Tony, you know, I'm not feeling too hot. I got a sore throat. That's when Dr. Baloney shows up, and I got a 9-inch throat lozenge for them. And if they're lucky, they get a little bit of cough syrup at the end. So, you know, I can help anybody out. Titan, if you ever have a sore throat, just give me a call. I'll help you out. It'll be really funny to watch. I'll even film it and show it to my wife. Anyhow.
Hey, Tony, I need you to stop making out with Maggie, man. He can't even talk when I'm playing fucking Left 4 Dead with his ass.
Well, it's a little bit rougher this afternoon, but a little bit of cough syrup, a little bit of tea, and a little bit of lozenge. I'm able to talk for like 5 minutes straight. And one more thing before I go. Actually, you know what? I understand that the doctor actually sent me something. Oh, he did send me a super chat a little bit earlier. I picked it up. Listen to this. So the doctor asked me this question. He sends in $5 and he says, Tony B, my girl is in love with the Mag's hairless cat. Can I borrow him to bribe her? Weird if I pet him while I get that sweet ass play. I can speak on behalf of the Mag and tell you that you will not be borrowing my hairless cat for your ridiculous schemes. Let me tell you something. First of all, it's been 1.5 years you've been trying this, or maybe even longer, and she still has not licked your ass. It's not going to happen. And something else, there's one thing that definitely does not mix. My hairless pussy and your hairy ass are not going to be in the same fucking room together. Okay? Not going to be in the same room together. So you can cut that shit out right now. Wiseau Gamer, by the way, you're fantastic. I love everything that you do. I think you're a wonderful man. Oh, and one more thing, actually, before... Wiseau Gamer, you made me cough. Oh my God, unbelievable. and no, I don't. I don't need to go to jail. I don't need to be in a 3-man cell. It's gonna be me, Bill Cosby, and R. Kelly. We're gonna be singing fucking Christmas tunes together. It's not gonna happen. By the way, Chris CUnit, let me tell you something. I glanced up at the screen real fast and I saw the CUnit brackets. I thought it said cunt, and all I could think of is, how the hell did you get Titan Drago's name? Yeah, well, yes. I thought I'd end it off like that. Man. But anyways, listen, Tony Baloney always has to make an appearance one way or another. But everybody, Asante, Chris, you guys are wonderful. Titan Drago, you're a scumbag. Nukem, I'll see you very soon. And everybody, have yourself a great night.
Tony must have scratched one of his herpes a little too rough tonight.
That man knows how to say scumbag very well.
Well, thank you.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Wow, that was a very pleasant surprise. We had no idea Tony Baloney would pull through long enough to get out for a few minutes of fantastic commentary. Once again, Tony Baloney, right here, Gaming After Dark. All right, poor old Titan getting slammed every week. Hey,
poor old Titan. He brings it on himself.
Oh shit, man. That's awesome, man. A great time. I think we've hit all the topics tonight. Does anybody have anything else further to add on anything perhaps we haven't talked about, or we'll get ready to
I think we should keep fighting about the football or football.
Sleep now.
You think you should alienate more international fans?
Why don't you go on Twitter and see what happens when the international community comes out?
Yeah, I'll fight that battle on my podcast. I don't got the finger stamina for Twitter for that.
Well, guys, it looks like we got a new fan tonight with Stanley Francois. Who says he found out about the show because Pong Soul tweeted out. Big shout out to Pong Soul. I think Pong was in the chat earlier. Or perhaps I missed him, but good to see
he was here. He was here. Yeah.
Splendiferous, I think might be new to the chat tonight. So welcome to all the new people and mostly those who've been with us from the beginning and continue to support us. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You guys are fantastic. Like I said, hopefully soon we got some big giveaways. Hopefully coming up. I'll keep you in the loop. Don't worry. But yeah, man. I would love if between us all, be awesome if we could get an extra mini fridge to give away. I think that would be a really cool giveaway for the show, something different for sure. But anyway, we'll work on that in the meantime. But up until then, I just wanted to say we have a fantastic crew tonight. You guys are fantastic. And well, let's let everybody get out of here. We'll start with Mr. CUnit. And yes, there is an I in there. So
if you look at it really fast.
Yeah, I know, eh? Yeah, you know what they say.
Sorry, Chris, I had to use it as a joke. It was right there, and I'm like, oh, Titan had to take it. So
well, you know what you are not the first, Chris. There's no I in cunt, baby.
Oh wow!
Unless I am in there. Ball deep, baby. Yeah. See what Sam signing out by that. Have a good night. Yeah.
Whoa, damn. Safe as Sam. He's always lurking, man. Weird guy. All right. All right, guys. All right. So anyway, Mr. Chris Jones, let people know where they can catch up with you, what you got going down. Thanks for being on the podcast tonight. We hope that you weren't too overwhelmed with this crazy ass odd style show that we do here?
No, once again, thanks again, Noof. Like I said, I've been following you for seems like years now. And middle-aged gaming guy, you were not the first person to utilize the my name. It's been happening since I got the nickname when I was like 12. So
well, perfect. Ooh. Well, that's about my maturity level. So perfect. Yes.
So definitely quite used to it. And like I said, Noof, thanks for having me on. Titan Drago, middle-aged game guy, Asante. Pleasure meeting you guys. Hopefully we can do this in the future or play on Xbox. You know, you can find me at Xbox, CUnit123123. There is a space between the C and the U. Find me on Twitter, CUnit123123, and you can also find me writing video game articles, news media articles for the Iron Lords at lordsofgaming.net. Nice. Also, Scribe of the Month, cheap plug last month. So definitely check it out.
There you go. All right. Looks like you got a fan with the Wise Old Gamer, Chris. Great stuff. Finally, after several weeks of trying to get him on the show, and as always, he comes in educated, well-spoken. It's the always fabulous Asante, always bringing a few facts, some knowledge, and all that good stuff to every podcast he's on. And speaking of podcasts he's on, take it away, man. Let people know where they can catch you on the regular.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, this was so much fun. And believe it or not, I'm a lingerer on this show. You know, usually this is on in the background while at nighttime when I'm hanging out when all the kids are asleep and whatnot.
Same.
So I'm a big fan. I enjoy listening to you guys. It's always so much fun. So thank you guys for having me on. You know, hopefully we can do it again. So you can catch me TKO O is a 0 Asante on Xbox, on PlayStation, on Twitter. You know, you follow me, I'll follow you back. I enjoy playing games with the community. So, you know, you add me on Xbox Live. Maybe we can jump on some of these games. I can also be found on Thursdays when I do On the Reel with my brother, Mr. Everborn Saga. We talk movies and TV. We get a little bit ridiculous on that as well. If you're a Batman fan, I suggest you clutch your purses because there's going to be some problems pretty soon. And on Saturdays, myself and Everborn once again do the Gaming Circle podcast. That is Saturdays at 10 a.m. usually in Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes it changes a bit when we have some guests, but you know, it's just a lot of fun. We go through the week's news. We fight as to who should be acquired and who shouldn't be, and why Everborn's a man baby. This is what we do. So we have a lot of fun doing that. So and I know some of the community members have also checked this out. We really appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. And of course, you can catch me and Mr. Mag himself on Primetime Gaming on Monday nights. So thank you guys again so much, and it was awesome being here. And I hope I can come back again.
We will definitely have you back in the future, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, our phenomenal panel, starting with, the middle-aged game guy who was going to bring out Tony Baloney. Let people know where you're hanging out next, where they can find you when you're not hanging out here with me and Titan.
Well, yes. Well, guys, thank you for a great show tonight again. Chris, Asante, you guys are awesome. It was so nice to have you guys on here. Chris, add me on Xbox later or PlayStation, whatever you got going on. Guys, and for everybody else, yes, you can follow me on Twitter at the middle-aged game guy. That's with a GY at the end, of course. On the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, you can find me at all one word, all capitals, because I don't know how to be quiet. I am the Mag. Also, yes, you can find me Monday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern on Primetime Gaming with Mr. Boomstick XL and friends, including Mr. Asante, who's right here. And guys, on Twitter, I haven't had any inspiration to release any funny videos lately because there hasn't been any ridiculous shit. But I got a couple of ideas. They're brewing. So keep your eyes peeled for my videos. So I got more coming up. Also, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'm pretty sure Asante's going to be there because the Everslander is going to be there. Everborn Saga. We're going to be 9 p.m. on Cybernox's channel tomorrow night. We're going to be doing a breakdown of the Batman trailer. Won't be a long show, but we're just going to do a breakdown of the trailer and our favorite moments.
The movie.
Are you coming, Asante?
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
You'll be there. All right, perfect.
I'll be refereeing. It should be interesting.
Oh, it's going to be something. So yeah, we're gonna have some Batman battles tomorrow night around 9 p.m. on Cybernox's channel. You can go check that out as well. So, anyways, guys, it was an absolute pleasure. And Titan, you're always a great sport, brother. I love that you just sit there and smile while I absolutely rip your ass apart. But I mean, it's all part of the fun.
Pause.
And Noof, you guys are all great. Everybody, chat, amazing. Everybody have a great night.
Oh, look, Oh, who's this? I got another celebrity here that's got to jump in with something to say here, apparently. Oh, what is it? Who is it, guys? Holy shit. It's the one, the only, the Dark Knight is here. He's got something to say. Robert Pattinson, you're a fraud. I won't swear to you, you weird-ass teeth, piece of shit. I'll rip your heart out.
Oh man!
There you go. The Dark Knight.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you can't unsee them teeth, right? You just can't unsee them teeth.
Asante, did you see the zoom in? Did you see the zoom in I did today?
I saw the zoom, man. I saw the zoom.
I zoomed in his teeth on the trailer because I saw the trailer, and he punches the glass when he's presumably talking to the Riddler, right? And he says something. Nobody knows what the fuck he said. It sounded like Christian Bale in the third Batman, in Batman, what was it, Dark Knight Rises? Where he's like, where's the trigger? Where's the trigger? You can't understand. He's like, where did you put it? We don't want to give it to somebody. Right?
I've seen hamsters that look angrier than him.
Yeah, no kidding. And so he punches the glass, right? And he goes, I think whatever the fuck he said, right? And then I saw his teeth, and I go, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that? What the fuck are those?
You zoom in, and he's got like Austin Power teeth, and you just can't unsee it. It's ridiculous.
You can't unsee it. So you know what I did? I freeze framed the trailer today. And then I freeze framed it at that exact moment and zoomed in so the entire picture is just his teeth. And they look like teeth that like my fucking 6-year-old would draw. Like you know, it's like, hey daddy, here's a picture of you smiling. And I'm like, oh yeah, great, you're fucking awful. But yeah, like it's just like that's what it looks like. It looks like a kid drew on
It's almost like dentures.
But you know what? The dude's worth like $100 million US is his net worth. Buy some teeth. Anyways, sorry, Titan. Do your outro.
Yeah, it's that time for the best part of the show. You know, there were 52 people watching until Mag started talking about teeth. Fucking. Anyways, it's the best part of the show because everyone wants my award. And this week, the winner is the Doctor.
Uh-oh.
Because he said he essentially loves Titan on camera, you know, which makes sense because he loves asses so much. So, you know. Until next week, let's all pay a little bit more attention to the butt in general and bring the common back to sense.
Woo! Wicked show again tonight, guys. Always in fine form. And you know where to find me. It's Noof Nukem in the gutter and pretty much everywhere else. Yes, and back here with these lovely gentlemen. Again, next Tuesday, 10 Eastern, right here on this channel. And on this channel on Sunday, you can catch up with me and my more PG-rated, family-friendly show called Good Morning Xbox, where I do my damnedest to leave out dirty words and all the rest of the stuff. But hey, it's a good time. Take care, everybody. Have yourself a great night. We look forward to seeing you back here next week. It's going to be good stuff. And again, thanks to our guests. Thanks to our chat. You guys are definitely winners. We'll catch you all later. Have a great night.